So you've clicked on this video because you're interested in rinseless washing. Maybe you've done it before and you want to learn some new tips and tricks, or maybe you're brand new to the game and you just want to know, how do you go about washing your car rinseless?
So this isn't about the product, this is about the process, and this is about how you can do a rinseless wash really safely in your garage or in an undisclosed traveled location. Doesn't matter where you can do it, but this is a highly versatile cleaning process.
So what is rinseless washing? Well, it's in the name itself. You are washing your vehicle, but you're not going through the rinse process. So you don't need access to running water. All you need is, well, you do need running water because you need a bucket of water, but otherwise you don't need a hose, you don't need a pressure washer.
So rinseless wash is, there's a couple of different types. So there's a pure cleaner, there's maybe a hybrid where you've got a cleaner and a polymer, or you've got really heavy polymer based rinseless washing. And what that chemical is doing is that it's encapsulating the dirt, it's pulling it off the surface, keeping it encapsulated so that when you come across with your wash meter, you can safely remove that dirt from the vehicle without causing any damage, scratching and marring to the surface of your paint.
Now, in our view, and a lot of people within the industry believe rinseless washing is one of the safest ways that you can wash your car. Now, there's a couple of reasons why.
So because it causes encapsulation of the dirt, it basically means that that dirt can be safely removed from the surface, so you can't cause any marring and scratching. A couple of other reasons is that because it encapsulates, or because it has encapsulating technology, it will encapsulate all the minerals that are in the water. So if you've got high mineral content in your water, you're basically going to reduce the ability of you to produce water spotting on your vehicle. And at the end of the washing process, because the product is left on the surface of the paint and you're not rinsing it away, that means it is now safe for you to come along with your drying towel and maybe a drying aid and dry the surface of your vehicle, and that's also going to eliminate the ability of you to put scratching into your vehicle.
So what do you need to rinseless wash a car? Well, the most important thing is the rinseless wash itself. There are a whole range of great products on the market, and if you want specifics of any of those, check out the Omni Garage channel for our full thoughts and views. The second thing you need is a rinseless wash sponge or towel. We have one here that is dual-sided. We like this because we can see all of the dirt that's picked up on the red side, and we know easily which side we have flipped it over, so we know which is the clean side. You obviously need your bucket of water, so that's your third thing. And then the fourth thing is a sprayer. Now, we've got a couple of options here. We've got a simple spray bottle, or you can use a pressurized sprayer as well. The only other thing you need at the end of the process is a drying towel. So you can get away with only 5 products to do a rinseless wash.
So a lot of rinseless wash products have got a 256 to 1 dilution ratio. So we're going to put 60 mils of product into the bucket here, and that's going to be our dilution. We're going to mix that thoroughly, and we're going to use that same dilution, the same product that's in here, to fill up our sprayers here. So you don't need to create a special mixture for your sprayer, you can just dunk it straight into the bucket.
And we've got the pressurized sprayer, and we've also got the spray bottle that we're going to use today, because you can use either of these products to achieve your rinseless wash. You don't need any specialty products if you don't have them. We do have them today, so we'll show you 2 different methods on 2 different panels of the car. Now, there's obviously a couple of different ways that you can do your rinseless wash depending on the environment that you're in. So we're not in direct sunlight today, it is warm, but we do have some shade, which means that we can work more area of a panel before we're starting to chase our tail needing to dry for potential water spots. You could go around and you could cover the entire vehicle with a rinseless wash if you're in a colder environment, not in direct sunlight. We typically don't operate like that. We will do 1, maybe 2 panels at a time. That way we can manage the work that we're doing, and we always start from the top of the car and work our way down, because otherwise, if we're drying as we go, we don't want any runoff that is coming down the car. We'll start with the pressurized sprayer and show you guys this. And the important thing that you're doing here is you are soaking down the panel and allowing the product to start emulsifying and encapsulating the dirt on the surface. And now it's time to introduce your sponge. What's important here is that it is not soaking wet, it is just to the point of dripping.
You want to get this to the verge of just a few drops, and this is what we're going to use as our wash media to try and clean the surface of the vehicle. So we want to apply no pressure to the sponge. We want the sponge to be doing all the work, and we can work in long linear strokes, just like you would normally clean your car if you're using a sponge and some soap. Then we can flip the sponge to a nice clean side, and we can continue on to the back of the car. And although this car is not that dirty, but what is really good about having a light coloured sponge is you would be able to see the dirt on the sponge, and the slits in the sponge allow a place for the dirt to get trapped into. Then we can then come to our wash bucket, and because this Rinseless wash does a really good job of encapsulating the dirt, it's going to pull it out of the sponge, it's going to dump it to the bottom of the bucket, and we're going to leave the sponge nice and clean, a nice clean surface ready to come and then clean the next panel on the vehicle.
Now, as you can see on the back of the car here, we do actually have quite a lot of dirt. Now, rinseless washing is very, very effective when you have minimal or medium dirt on the car. Slightly less effective if you have caked on mud, but the vehicle that we're working with today, with a bit of dirt, a bit of dust, a little bit of water spotting, it's been driven in the rain, this is a perfect example of where rinseless washing is really easy and really handy to do. And what will be happening here is the rinseless wash product will start to encapsulate the dirt, so controlling it and holding it in spots of water, and then it will start to emulsify it, which is breaking it down, getting it ready for us to safely remove from the car with our sponge. And the key when washing rinseless is you just want to work really organised. You're organised by spraying the panels, you're organised washing the panels down, and then when we get to the end process, you're very organised in the actual drying of the panels at the same time.
And what you can see is that on the red part of that sponge, you can see all the dirt and grime that is on the sponge and also made its way into the slits of the sponge. Now, a really good rinseless wash should be that if you dunk that wash media into our solution, the rinseless wash should pull all that dirt and grime out, put it to the bucket, and leave us with a nice clean surface ready to come and hit the next panel of the car. And so that's exactly what that has done. So there are two methods in which you can apply this product to the surface of your vehicle to start the breaking down of the dirt and grime. You can use a simple spray bottle, where you can just spray it onto the surface, or you can use it in a pressurized sprayer where you pump it up, put some pressure into here, and then you can then deliver the product like that. For us, we prefer to put it in a pressurized sprayer because we get a large area of coverage, and it's just a little bit quicker to apply the product in your cleaning process. So depending on how dirty the vehicle is dependent on how often you're going to revisit the bucket. If the car was relatively clean like it is now, you can do larger cleaning, you can clean larger areas. If the car's more dirtier, then you're going to do smaller sections, and you're going to keep coming back to the bucket to make sure that your wash media is always clean when you're cleaning a new surface of the vehicle. Now, this is where this product really shines, is that because we have already got the product on the surface of the vehicle, and because we are not rinsing, i.e. rinse less, we can come across with our drying towel and we can dry the vehicle already. We don't need to apply a drying aid here because the product is already on the surface, it's already causing lubrication for us, and so it is really safe to come along and just dry the vehicle as you wish. Glenn and I have travelled down here to do this, and we actually left our drying aid behind, but we would typically apply a little bit of drying aid just for a little bit of amplification of the colour of the vehicle, but in this case it is totally safe to do it without drying aid. So what we do is, because we kind of do this panel by panel, we sort of clean and dry, move on to the next panel, clean and dry, and move on to that next panel, and we stay really organised and we're efficient at doing it that way. So if you let a rinseless wash dry onto the surface of the vehicle, you're going to end up with these little white dots that you see everywhere, and these are called polymer spots. How you get rid of those is that you can just usually rub them off with your drying towel, or if they don't come off easily, you can use a little bit more rinseless wash solution, reactivate the spots, and they should just wipe off nice and clean and nice and easily. So don't get too concerned that you've left water spots on your vehicle. They're just polymer spots and they should just wipe straight out. Okay, so there are 3 types of rinseless wash products on the market. You've got your pure cleaners, so they're pure surfactant base, and they don't leave any sort of protection behind. They don't have any polymers in them, so they're leaving nothing behind. Those pure surfactants are just there for cleaning. They use sort of slick surfactants, so it feels relatively slick to clean off, but we find that they aren't as slick as what the next 2 categories are. So the next 2 categories, you've got like a hybrid, so you've got a mix between a surfactant and a polymer. They use the surfactants for the cleaning and they use the polymer to help clean, but also add a lot of slickness and lubricity to the surface of the paint, and they have a good combination where they have really good cleaning. They leave a little bit of protection behind that is really easy to be removed, but they generally feel a lot more slicker than the pure surfactants. So then you've got the pure polymer based ones. Now they are heavy polymer based, they're really slick to use, but they also they tend to leave a little bit more protection behind than what just the other 2 do. Now if those products dry on the surface, you end up with a lot more of these polymer spots like we showed, and they can be a little bit harder to remove. So here at Omni Garage, we prefer to use a hybrid one, a one with a really good cleaning surfactant, one that's got a polymer in it for our nice slickness and encapsulation, and that's the product that we prefer to use in our rinseless cleaning process.
So rinseless washing, there you have it, a really quick overview of what you need, how you can do it, and how it works. We think rinseless washing is probably the most important way and the easiest way you can wash a car, because you can do it inside, you can do it outside, any weather condition with minimal tools, and the startup cost to do this is very, very cost effective versus buying a pressure washer, a foam cannon, and everything else that comes with it. So there you go, rinseless washing 101. If you've got any questions, let us know in the comments, but otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Catch you later.